So, you are a knowledge worker. You are a professional. You have a skill. You have a degree. Your skill took you some time and some effort to obtain. And it's a good skill that businesses and societies, they need you and your skill. Okay? And you would like to make bigger and bigger contributions by challenging yourself to more and more and taking on more and more responsibilities and reap the reward at the end for both you and your family and also society at large. To that end, you really need to know how to work with recruiters, how to utilize recruiters to help you to get your next job and your next jobs. Okay, they are an essential part of your career advancing secret toolkit. So in this class, we're going to teach you how to collaborate with recruiters, how to utilize recruiters to help you, how to get recruiters to work for you to help you to advance your career and your life. And we'll be talking about why you need to work for both large and small companies. And it will do you some good if you have some experience, some exposure dealing with the government. Why would large companies would hire using outside recruiting agencies? How does recruiting agencies operate? How do they work? And how do they get the contract from the hiring companies? And how does it operate inside the recruiting agency? And how does the recruiter find you? And how do you get found by the recruiting agencies, by the recruiters? And how do you prepare your resume? And how do you go for interviews? Okay, and let's get started. Okay, let's start with why do you need to have experience working for both large and small private companies? And it will do you some good to have some experience working with the government. Okay, now I'll jump to the conclusion first, which is if you want to have a career, okay, with your profession, with your skills, the long-term money is in working for the corporate world. The bigger the corporations, the better. However, you need to have experience working for smaller companies, okay, tech startups, and so on and so forth. And by the way, you don't need to be a software developer to work for a tech startup. So anyway, the benefit to you to having worked for a smaller company, okay, is so you get closer to the business owner, the founder, and observe and participate in business decision making. This is an essential skill for you to have a career in large corporations in the business world. So business decision-making process, understanding their concerns, and taking part in business decision-making at as high of a level within a business as possible is a great benefit to your career working for a large corporation. So you understand business concerns. But smaller companies are not going to offer you the kind of career advancement, okay, the levels of high and the kind of security, okay, the kind of stability, the kind of big pocket to support you with all your projects and all your adventures, okay, and many of them go out of business. Okay, that's just a fact. A large company may have been around for 100 years, 150 years. A small company may have been around for 1 year, 1.5 years, and then they go out of business all the time. But it's essential experience for you to have experienced working for a smaller company, especially when you are young, especially when you're under 25, especially when you're under 30. You can afford to have your employer go out of business on you. Actually, not only you can afford to have your employer going out of business on you, you need to experience it for your educational purposes. It's your continuing education after graduating from undergrad, whatever your degree is, okay? Your education for your hard skill is complete. Actually, I wouldn't say it's complete. You learned from your undergrad on how to learn hard skills. Now you're in the real world, okay? You need to utilize your skill on how to learn business skills, life skills, career advancement skills. So having worked for a tiny company that went out of business is going to be an essential part of your rite of passage, your education. Okay? If you have never worked for a small company, you have only worked for a large company or just one large company, or you just went straight to the government, oh boy, you're missing out. And I don't mean that as a joke, okay? You really, really missed out on an essential part of life, part of education. So you need to have worked at least once, if not twice, like a year or two, for a small company, a tiny company, to gain the knowledge, the experience, to participate, to observe, okay, business decision making at a very high level. What are the concerns of a business owner? And your long-term goal is to develop yourself a career in the corporate world, okay? And you should also never stick with the same corporation for 50 years, all right? Not only those things don't happen anymore, you become extremely vulnerable, okay? Because imagine you're 40 years old, you're 50 years old, you have only had one job with a giant corporation, okay, for 20, 30 years, and then they let you go, all right? You're going to have a hard time finding employment elsewhere, all right? And you're going to go straight to homelessness within about 6 months. No one's going to hire you. Okay, when they look at your resume and say, what? You work for the same company for 30 years? What's wrong with you? You must be the lazy person I've ever met. You have no ambition. You don't want to work hard. You don't want to advance yourself. Okay, you just want to goof. Okay, you just want to, go with the ride. Okay, you have no initiatives. We don't want people like you around here. We need people who try harder. We need people who have initiatives, right? We need people who want to go places. And that is not you because your resume says so. And also, while you are working for maybe a small company or a large company, okay, it would be nice. It would be interesting. It would be a great educational experience for you to having had a governmental department, a governmental agency of some sort, okay, as an eye-opening experience. You want to see what's going on in there and why you don't want to be part of it, okay? It's a soul-murdering environment. And if you're a person with ambition, if you want to do something with your life, and if you're young, you don't want to work for a governmental agency, all right? Your career, your life, and the progression of your life is going to be narrow, limited, and trying to do things and trying to improve any situation, improving yourself is discouraged or not allowed. And pretty soon you will learn, okay, they're not there to get things done. They're there just to be there. Just to another day, another dollar, just for their existence. The rest of society exists to support their existence. And you don't want to become that sort of a person. This is why you need to experience it. You need to be sent into a governmental agency, okay, because they are the customer of the company you work for or something like that, okay, to go deep inside their office. I once saw, okay, a corner office, okay, in a big federal governmental office, okay, in a country, an English-speaking country that's not the United States of America, okay? And this corner office is a big office. The guy who occupies the office is pretty high up there, and he's not in there, okay? And I was the IT contractor in there as a part of a team to work on their computer systems. And I walked past this office, and the door has an official-looking plaque. And it says, lunchtime, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. As a taxpayer, okay? My blood was boiling. It is what my tax dollar is paying. Okay? So you need that educational experience. Knowing what's going on inside these governmental offices. All right? You also need to have real life experience working for some very small companies to get close, to be close with business decision making, right? And then you take all of this knowledge from your experience, all right? You apply it for your job, your career in the corporate world to advance yourself by taking on bigger and bigger challenges and taking on bigger and bigger projects and be given bigger and bigger, more and more responsibilities, and contribute more and more, produce more and more, and then everybody benefits, okay, your family, your co-workers, your colleagues, your customers, your outside vendors, and yourself, okay? Not only will you be rewarded handsomely, financially, okay, you will feel good about yourself because you did things. You did not waste your life, all right? And after you've done this for 5-10 years, okay, you're 35, you're 40, you're 45, okay, you can choose to remain a corporate citizen, or you can choose to use the knowledge about business, about life, about the corporate world to start your own business. As a matter of fact, okay, after you start your own little business, and if it does not work out, okay, you can always come back and continue to work for the corporate world. And I know many people who have done so, all right? So all of this are things you need to do for your own advancement. And to have a career, successful career in the corporate world, you cannot stay within the same company. You need to switch companies. You might even have to switch industries. And to learn more, to do more. Quite often within the same company, there's only so much opportunity to do so much. You've been here for 2 years, you've been here for 5 years, you've been here for 10 years. Okay, it's time to seek a bigger, more exciting challenge elsewhere. You can do your job with your eyes shut. You can do your job while you're sleeping. You've been doing your job while you're sleeping. That's time to go somewhere else, to seek a more exciting challenge. And to do that, you need to work with recruiters, okay? And the faster you want to advance, the more frequent you need to change your job. And that also depends on the nature of your profession, okay? I know technology professionals change their jobs most often, okay, most frequent. Quite often, 1 year is enough for both parties, both the employee and the employer. Quite often, after 1 year, the employer is looking at the employee and go, why are you still here? Are you becoming lazy? Why haven't you moved on to somewhere else? So, changing jobs is essential for you to advance your career. And knowing how to work with recruiters is an essential part of your secret knowledge, in your secret toolkit on how to change your jobs and advance your life, advance your career, go places. Before we go any further, we must address the common confusion about loyalty. Loyalty between employer and employee. All right? The fact of the matter is, I'll just jump to the conclusion and give you the conclusion first. Loyalty between employer and employee is no different from any other form of business loyalty between a merchant and a customer, a buyer and a seller, which is the loyalty is a two-way street. You treat me nice, I will treat you nice. All right? The transaction is happening because there's a willing buyer and a willing seller. Whatever the term is. Quantity, okay, merchandise, pricing, and terms, and so on and so forth. Okay? Think of the businesses that you frequent, that you go there to buy. Okay? If they started treating you badly, okay, you go somewhere else. All right? This is why, all right, we have laws against monopoly. Okay? Competition is good for both the customers and the business, so they improve. If there's no competition, all right, the business becomes the government. All right? So now imagine the other way around. Imagine if you went from a nice customer to a business to a troublemaker. You go there and you cause them trouble. What are they going to do? They're going to cut you off. Have you ever seen the sign? We reserve the right to refuse service to anybody. Okay? If you behave poorly, all right, you just turn from a nice customer to troublemaker. We don't want him. He causes us to lose money. All right? So that's business. Okay? Same thing with employment. All right? The employer is looking at the employee and they go, are you hardworking? Are you contributing? Are you trying to help? Are you advancing yourself? Okay. Are you trying to do more? Are you trying to learn more? Are you coaching other employees who are relatively newer than you? Okay. Are you helping the entire team, the entire company? Okay. And you, the employee, right? You should also look at the employer and go, are you helping me with all my needs? Right? My need to improve, increase, enlarge my skill set. My need to learn more by doing more. My need to increase my income by being more capable. Okay? My need to have a harmonious, friendly, collaborative work environment. Okay? I come here to work. Okay, my need to work in an environment that's not toxic, that you, the employer, you are making sure that where I work, I can do my work. I don't have to deal with things that I shouldn't have to deal with. Okay? So loyalty is a two-way street. All right? And what happens if employer found out, okay, you the employee, you need this position. Without it, okay, you will die. You have no options, basically. What happens if the employer found out you the employee, you have no options? Is the employer going to treat you better? Or is the employer is going to, they can't help it, but to abuse you? Refuse to give you a pay increase, all right? Make you condition where you work, make the condition more and more difficult, okay? And so on and so forth, all right? What happens to an employee if they found out the employer has no option, no optionality, okay? For example, you're a really hot shot, okay, computer software developer or a system engineer. And especially if you're halfway through a project. Okay? Unlike a construction project, all right? Anybody can see how far down the road, okay, toward completion the project is at because anyone can see it. When it comes to a technology project, be it writing a software or implement a system, okay, people don't know how far you have gone down the road. People don't know how far you have accomplished, okay? If they fire you, they usually have to hire someone new and start from scratch. So employees like software engineers, software developers, system engineers, they have a lot of leeway, okay, when it comes to their negotiating power against their employers. That's just fact on the ground, okay? So bear in mind, okay, this is just all fair trade. It's just all fair game, okay? It's no different from between you and some business that you spend your money. You go there buy whatever you need to buy, okay? You buy it on a regular basis, like daily, like lunch, or weekly, like gasoline, or what have you. Or your employment situation is the same simple, basic business principle, business concept, all right? So you want to create the sort of sentiment from your employer to you, the employee, which is you, the employee, you're happy working here, but you could walk, you could jump, all right? And you might even be to your benefit if the employers, they somehow know that you are being contacted by recruiters outside the company, by the competition from down the road. Wouldn't that be to your advantage? And why is that not fair? All right. You go to a gas station to pump gas. The gas station, they know. Okay, you don't have to come here to buy your gas. Okay, there are 5-10 gas stations in the neighborhood. Okay, you could have gone to instead. Okay, the lunch shop that you decided to buy your lunch from, they know. Right next door is another lunch shop. Okay, right next door across the street is another lunch shop. You could have gone to any of those places, but you chose here today. So they need to put on a smile and thank their lucky stars and appreciate you deciding to give them your business. Same thing between employer and employee. Okay? Employers should not take employees' loyalty for granted. And employees should not take employers' opportunity for granted. Okay? It's a business situation. Okay, transaction happens every day. Okay, and both parties are free to walk away from the arrangement. Okay, just like you go buy lunch just like you go pump gas, okay? Just like every other business, all right? It's not bondage. It's not serfdom. It's not slavery either way, okay? This is free market, free trade, fair trade, all right? So the employer, okay, is constantly, subtly letting you know that, hey, if you don't want this job, there are people lined up. 5 people within the company want your job, and 5 people outside the company want your job, okay? Now, you should return the favor, return the compliment to the employer that, hey, I'm a great employee, all right? I am capable and I'm willing, all right? I'm here with you for now, but I could go somewhere else, okay? And there's nothing not moral about it. It's fair, unfair to both parties. Just like you walk into lunch shop A and not lunch shop B for today to give them money to buy your lunch. And both parties needs to be aware of this. And don't you put yourself in the position of letting the employer think that you have no options. You're stuck here. And they are going to start abusing you. Okay? Another commonly asked question from candidates who are new to the employment market, just getting their career started, is how do recruiters get paid? Do candidates need to pay recruiters? No. The answer is no. Candidates never pay recruiters. Recruiters are never paid by candidates. The whole process to the candidates, it's completely free. So how do the recruiters get paid? They are paid by the employer for a fee, okay? And the fee is commonly around 20-30% of the winning candidate's salary, whatever the final negotiated price is. Okay? And it's only paid after the candidate passed his or her first 90-day probationary period. That's when the employer, the hiring company, will pay the recruiting agency. So to answer the question, okay, candidates never pay recruiters. The entire service is free to the candidates. It's the employer who is paying the recruiting agency to go out and find them talented employees who are in high demand. So, why do large corporations and hiring managers use outside recruiting agencies? Why don't they do their own hiring? Okay, very good question. All right. Now, they probably are not going to use an outside recruiting agency if they're hiring some blue-collar manual labor. All right. Those are easy. And there's also a very high turnaround rate. So they probably have an internal process that is constantly hiring new recruits for their blue-collar manual labor section of their workforce. You can think of it as the enlisted part of the military. All right. Now, the part that, with the for a military, okay, recruiting enlisted, okay, they have their own in-house recruiters, which is probably another enlisted who has been there for a long time, and he's probably on his way out. And his last assignment is to help the military to recruit the next generation of enlisted. And then the military knows, right? The enlisted will sign up for a year, and then they'll have to either be prompted to sign up again, or they're going to be discharged and go home and become a civilian again. So you can think of the blue-collar manual labor workforce of a large private company as the enlisted members of a military. And the large corporations tend to use outside recruiting agencies for knowledge workers, for professionals, especially professionals who are hard to find. Yeah, sure. They do want to recruit from within to promote their people to get higher and higher to go up. Okay, they might even hire cross departments. Okay, but quite often they can't find their existing people to have the sort of talent and experience to fulfill the role that's newly created, or the previous person who had the role got promoted somewhere else, or they left, or they moved across the country or across the world or something. So why don't hiring managers do the recruiting themselves? Well, it's because, number one, recruiting is a talent, a skill set, a profession on its own, and to find one of those qualified candidates for one of those positions, it takes a long time. Okay, I'll give you some examples. All right, engineering company, okay, making machines that does chemical analysis. All right, they need to hire a person to write computer software to control their chemical analyzers. All right, so this person needs to understand both chemistry and computer software development, and not just any chemistry, but this type of chemistry, and not just any whatever computer knowledge, but a specific type of software programming. Okay, you know how to design a website. Okay, that's not good enough. That's useless, because we need you to be able to write code that will talk to hardware. Okay, another example. Okay, company produce again, let's just say same company. Okay, they produce machines to perform tests on chemical analysis. Okay, this machines needs to be sold, and after the machine is sold, okay, there needs to be after sales support and service. All right. There are people who understand chemistry, but they can't do sales. Okay, there are people who can do sales, but they don't understand chemistry. All right. Oh, I'm a great salesman. Okay, I know how to approach customers. I know how to establish rapport. I don't know anything about chemistry. I don't understand anything about those machines. Well, you're not going to be able to sell anything. Okay, I'm an engineer. I know all about chemistry. Yeah. But do you know how to talk to customers, to approach prospects, to get them want to buy our products? No. You're a nerd. You're not a people person. Okay? You specialize in being rude and direct. So a lot of this takes a long time. Okay? And the funnel fulfillment, that might as well just be one candidate out of 100. Okay? This is why the large corporations and the hiring managers, they don't have the time and they never develop the skill. Okay, sure, they can do the final interview. Okay, out of the 100 being talked to by the recruiting agency, okay, the final manager, the final interview, he might only interviewed 3 out of the 100, and he decided on 1, the final winner. But that's out of 100. Okay, he doesn't know where to find them, how to attract them, how to get them to want to take an interview, and so on and so forth. He's a manager. He manages the business. Okay, he doesn't know how to find candidates and attract candidates. That's an entirely different profession. And he hasn't got the time to do it, and he hasn't got the time to develop that profession because that's an entirely different profession. It's just like knowing how to do math is not the same as being able to teach math. Teaching is a separate profession from being able to do it. This is why large corporations almost exclusively use an outside recruiting agency when it comes to hiring a professional, an office worker, somebody who is career-oriented. Okay, usually these professions come with lots and lots of education, and they need 5-10 years of experience at least. Okay, and all of these professionals are going places, and they also don't just take any job that's on offer. They have their own needs. Okay, from location to the kind of things they'll be working on, to the industry, to how far is it from their home, okay, and so on and so forth. So just because the candidate is qualified, it doesn't mean the candidate is happy with the job offer. It goes both ways. Okay, you're a candidate, you know what I'm talking about. This is why large corporations almost exclusively use outside recruiting agencies. And this is why you must learn how to work with recruiting agencies, how to utilize them, okay, to your advantage. Have them work for you as opposed to have the situation working against you. Okay? Smart people in life, they want to learn what the situation is, what the setup is, and then turn the situation, utilize it in such a way, okay, so the situation, whatever the situation is, okay, they turn the situation to work for them. All right, without any effort. That's how you get smart. So, how does the hiring company, the hiring manager, chooses which recruiting agency to use? Well, it can be that there's an agency the company has been using. It can be there's an agency that this particular hiring manager was using with his previous employer. Or they could get on the open market and give the contract out to some agencies they have not worked with. Okay? And sometimes for one opening, okay, which they call a job offer, opening position, they might hire just one agency. Sometimes they might hire more than one agency. Let the agencies compete. Sometimes they're hiring a team of people. And they might be giving all of these teams out to one agency or multiple agencies, or they might say, for the western half of the country, we're going to give it to agency A, or for the eastern half of the country, we're going to give it to agency B. It can be a number of possibilities. You, as the candidate, okay, who wants to advance your career, you don't need to worry too much about how the company finds recruiting agencies, how the recruiting company, how they recruit recruiting agencies. That you don't need to worry that much. And then the next question is, how do recruiting agencies get the job offer, get the contract from the hiring company? Okay, very good question. Okay, within each of these recruiting agencies, there are people who specialize in talking to hiring companies. And they all start talking to just candidates. And as they gain more and more experience, they start to talk to hiring companies. Okay? And again, okay, this is part of business development, and it can be done in a number of different ways. It can be, okay, so-and-so was one of my candidates, and I successfully found him a job 5 years ago, 10 years ago, okay? And he's now promoted into management. Now he is hiring. Or he has jumped ship to a different corporation, and he's been promoted into leadership, and he is hiring. And so I called him, we had coffee, and then he knew me, he knew the company I work for. He liked the way how we conducted the business, how we treated everybody fairly. So he decided to give the company I work for a try as a as a hiring agency. Okay. Or it might be that it's new business, okay? And how do you get new business, okay? If you are extremely engineering minded, okay, I just want you to think about people playing golf. To this sort of people, okay, playing golf is not leisure. Playing golf is not a hobby. Playing golf is not having fun. To these people, playing golf on a Friday afternoon is work. Yes, an engineer go to the office on Monday morning to do his engineering work. So these business development people, when they go play golf on a Friday afternoon, to them is work. Hello, my name is Johnny. Hello, my name is Scotty. What do you do for work? What do you do for work? Oh, I own a staffing agency. And you just leave it at that, okay? Or you go to restaurants, or you mingle with other business people, about other managers with hiring authority, or business owners of small, medium, large-sized businesses. Some of them takes one weekend. Some of these relationships take a whole year to develop. So that's how I think the recruiting agencies, that's how they get the contracts, the job offer. Okay, what concerns you, all right, is how recruiters find and talk to you. For starters, okay, let's talk about different levels of candidates. We have already talked about, okay, a large company will probably not use a staffing agency, outside recruiting agency to hire the manual labor part of their workforce. Those large companies, they have their own in-house systems in place to constantly hire blue-collar manual labor part of their workforce. It's the professional class. It's the career-oriented, the degreed employees that is highly likely they would use a outside agency, especially they need someone with experience, with 5-10 years 20 years of industry experience. And I'm not even talking about headhunting, which is hunting for CEOs. That's a different level of a game. Okay? So how do recruiters, those who spend most of their time talking to candidates, not hiring managers, how do they find you? You, the candidate. Okay, you're the one who is advancing your career. Okay, what makes you or what makes anyone the best candidate? The sort of employees that the hiring company is looking for. All right, is a happy employee who is extremely happy where he is at, but he's been there for a while. So in the back of his head, okay, he has already thought about it just a little bit that, hey, I've been here for whatever, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, okay? Am I coasting? Okay. Is this time for a new challenge to get up to the next level? And he hasn't taken action yet. All right. He is thinking about it. He has thought about it. It's just beginning to having that thought. Okay. It's like you drive down the road, you see a car, and you look at your current car, and you start thinking, is it time to upgrade? Okay, maybe. And then your current car broke down again. And again next month. And again next month. Okay, broke down 3 times over a 6-month period. Okay, and that pushed you over the edge. You go, okay, time to go car shopping. All right. So the next weekend, you started car shopping. Same thing with job hunting. All right. The best candidates in the eyes of an employer is some candidate who is happily working somewhere, who is not proactively busy, okay, job hunting. All right. And certainly not someone who just got fired and is desperate looking for a job. Okay? Now, we talked about CEO and headhunting. Okay, let's use CEO for example. Okay? If you're a CEO, okay, running Fortune 1000 companies, Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies, all right? You're a contractor. You're not even an employee. Okay, the board of directors hired you on a contract basis. Okay, and then if you do a horrible job, okay, you will be fired. If you do a wonderful job, you won't be needed anymore. Especially if you're a turnaround expert. You turn a dying company around into a profitable company. Okay, you're done. They don't need you anymore. Thank you very much. So how do CEOs find their next contract? Okay, and this applies the same with hotshot IT engineers, software developers. Okay, CEOs find their next job, okay, not by go out there looking. They sit, okay, wait for the phone to ring. And how do they manifest? Okay, headhunters. Okay, headhunters are not recruiters. Okay, headhunters only hunt CEOs. Okay, those with $1 million, $10 million a year salary. That's the cream of the crop of recruiters, and they don't want to call themselves recruiters because they don't work with you and I, professionals, engineers. They only work with CEOs making at least $1 million a year, if not $10 million a year, if not $100 million a year, plus stock option, plus this and that and the other, okay? And they all get hunted internationally. So back to the CEO themselves, all right? They ensure their next job is coming by doing a fantastic job on their current job. If they turn a dying company around, made it profitable, it's going to be the talk of town. It's going to be written about in magazines. Okay, they're going to get TV interviews, and all the headhunters is going to hear about it. And then all the board of directors of companies that are in desperate need of their next turnaround CEO to save their dying company, okay, those board of directors will be calling headhunters, and headhunters will be calling the best, the most successful CEOs. And you should utilize the same strategy, all right? So if you're doing the best job you can, okay, you've been there for 3 and 5 years, and you've been thinking about, maybe it's time for a new challenge, and you're the best candidate in the eyes of the hiring manager and in the eyes of the recruiter. And they will be contacting you. They will be contacting you, okay? But then you're not a CEO. You're not in the media, okay? No magazine will be writing about your success story. So how would a headhunter, no, I don't mean headhunter, I mean a recruiter, okay? How would a recruiter find you, all right? This is where those job hunting websites and business networking websites comes in to help you, okay? And the best example is LinkedIn, all right? And you should always keep your LinkedIn profile up to date with your most current situation, okay? And you do realize with LinkedIn, there's one button that you can click on it. It will turn your profile into a resume. And then from there, okay, you can modify your resume to tailor fit each job that you're trying to apply, right? And also, let me give you some tips on how to make your LinkedIn profile and your resume stand out from the sea of resumes, right? On your LinkedIn and on your resume, okay, for each of your job, which is reverse chronologically, okay, the last at least one line, if not two, okay, you should always say something about what you did, how you contributed to the business, okay? Now, the earlier the job, like you were 16 working for McDonald's, okay, you probably didn't contribute that much to McDonald's, the corporation. But I'm sure you learned something, your first job at McDonald's, okay? So for your earlier jobs when you were younger, you should put down what you learned on the job, okay? For example, you can put down, I cleaned the toilet. And I was really proud of myself, okay? I learned to clean the toilet. I learned to clean it and make it super clean. And then I learned to clean it fast. And I learned how to not get dirt on me. And I was very proud of myself, okay? So you can say, I was proud of what I was able to do at the age of 16. And you should make that line italic. Okay, so make the font stand out. And another thing you could say is, I learned the value of collaborating with colleagues. I learned the value of helping others, just proactively help others. Okay, I had a young man, okay, and he told me his first job, 16, working at McDonald's, he didn't have a ride home. So a coworker gave me a ride home. He was extremely grateful, And then he was thanking his coworker who had a car, POS of a car, but a car, and was able to drive him home. So he was extremely grateful, and he was thanking his coworker for giving him a ride home. And the coworker said, "Don't worry about it. Pretty soon, okay, you will have your own first car, okay, POS of a car, but a car, and you will be driving other people home. Pay it forward. Collaboration. Proactively help others." Okay, this is something you can put on your resume. And as you become more and more seasoned of a career, corporate citizen, professional, okay, you'll be making contributions to the business. Then you can have things like, again, the last line of that job, okay, in italic, helped finish the project 10 weeks ahead of time. Helped to finish the project on time, under budget. Or, something like trained 3 other employees under me. And wrote a software that is still being used today, 5 years down the road. Or something like that. Help the company to save $1 million. Help the company to generate $10 million more. Help the company to increase market share. And made customers very happy. And because of my project, because of my professionalism, the government customer decided to renew their contract with our company. Or something like that. Okay? It's the last line of the section of you worked for ABC company. The first 4 lines are what you did, okay, what new technologies you learned, what technologies that you had, what skills you had that you employed, you deployed there. But the last line is what you did for the business. Okay? Employers love it. Why? Because let's put yourself in the shoes of an employer. All right? I'm sure you've hired plumbers. You've hired electricians. You've hired auto mechanics. Okay, if you were to hire a plumber to come and fix your leaky toilet, what are you going to be thinking? Okay, do you care where he went to plumbing school? Do you care if his truck is a Ford or a Chevy or a Toyota? Okay, do you care if his tools are Ryobi or DeWalt? No, you don't care about any of that stuff. You care about, can he come? How soon can he come? What's his rate? Okay, and what's his reputation in the neighborhood? What has he done for the grandma, okay, across the street with a leaky toilet? Those are your concerns. So those are the concerns of a corporate hiring manager. Okay, if I were to hire a person, total stranger off the street, to fulfill this vacancy and give him a salary, a job, okay, these are the qualities that I'm looking for, all right? Able to do the work and willing to do the work, and willing and a history of enduring hardship, overcoming challenges, and be collaborative, and so on and so forth, okay? So you have it. Then make sure you tell the prospective customer, which is the hiring manager, about it. Okay? Imagine a plumber with a great reputation, a great skill. Nobody knows about it. How is he going to get hired? You got these 2 plumbers, both got good reputation, okay, both got good skills, okay, both are willing to come. You only heard this one with a good reputation. The other one, okay, he doesn't tell you about his skill, his reputation. He missed out. You're not going to hire him, are you? Because you don't know about his good qualities, his reputation, his good reputation, his good skill set, and so on and so forth. Okay? That's trick number 1. Last line, say something about what you did to help the company and make it italic so it stands out for the eye. And the second trick is people don't print out resumes anymore. People read them on the computer. Okay? A lot of this is to do with people are not in the office, and people are at home, and there isn't a printer you can print for free. Cartridges cost money, and people can just read on the screen, so why print? Okay? Printing, especially in the office, usually it's a black and white printer. But people read on the screen, you could use color. So, okay, carefully go through the job description for each job you're trying to apply. And capture all the keywords, okay? And make sure your resume will use the exact keywords that the hiring manager is looking for. Okay? If the hiring manager is looking for chemical engineer, make sure you use the exact phrase chemical engineer, if you are a chemical engineer, in your resume. All right? If the hiring manager is looking for someone who can program Python, okay, that's a programming language, okay, make sure you say Python, if you know Python, in your resume, okay, and bold it and yellow highlighted. Okay? Reason being, all right, is those keywords will stand out. And the hiring manager are looking for those key attributes like chemical engineering, like Python. Okay? So as they scan your resume, okay, those words are jumping out at him. This will make your resume more attractive than your competitors. And you should have your LinkedIn updated, okay? And you should have your most updated resume on all the other job search employment websites, Monster or what have you, their competitors, okay? And even if you're not job hunting, especially if you're not job hunting, okay? I learned this concept at a very young age. I think I was maybe 18, and one evening, okay, I walked past a real estate office, and there was a gentleman standing there at the window. The office is already closed, but they have their houses for sale displayed in the window with all the attributes, how many bedrooms, and the asking price. Okay, and there was a gentleman standing there reading the advertisement. So, being young and naive and inquisitive, I just asked him. I said, "Are you looking to buy a house, or are you trying to sell your house?" He said, "No, I'm not buying. I'm not selling. Okay, I have my own house, okay, which I'm paying the mortgage." I said, "So why are you looking at house prices?" He said, "I want to know, since I bought it, okay, a few years ago, okay, price has changed. I want to know how much is my house, okay? What's the price on the market today?" Let that sink in. Okay? Even if you are not job hunting, okay, you should always know your present market value on the job market. If something were to happen to your job, if you were in need, all of a sudden you are in need of looking for a job, okay, you never know. Large corporations, they may shut down a division, shut down a branch, okay, move their operation cross-country, cross-continent, okay, and your job is vanished. Overnight. It happens all the time, all over the world, okay? You need to be prepared. That is how you, the career-oriented professional, is being a prepper. You are always ready, okay, at the drop of a hat to go find another job. Or employers and recruiters are calling you in peacetime when you are not in need of a job. Okay, they're calling you. And also, another reason that peacetime, that is, you are happily employed, you are not unemployed, you haven't got fired, and the recruiters are calling you, you're not in desperation. You are in a very, very good negotiation position. I'm sure you have heard negotiate from strength. So when you have a job, okay, you're happily employed, you're gainfully employed, you're happy where you are, and recruiters call you, okay, you can take it or leave it. Okay, I'm listening. All right, what you got? And you can tell them, I'll think about it. Would you rather be the chaser or the chased? Okay. And also, recruiters, they know how to be discreet. Okay. Not letting your current employer find out about it. And before, they would call you and then they would ask you, are you able to speak? Okay. You might have to step out. You might have to say, I'm going to have to call you back during lunchtime. I might have to call you back after 5, okay, so I can step out of the office and call you from my car, and so on and so forth. They understand all of that. Okay, they're very discreet. It's part of their professionalism. And today, a lot of this are done over email, so you got nothing to worry about. And I'm sure you have multiple email addresses. There's one from your work, okay, john.smith@abccompany.com. And you have one for you, family and friends, okay, john.smith@yahoo.com, okay, and you have one just for job hunting, okay, john.smith@gmail.com. You might have another one for your side hustles, for whatever business idea you have. All right, you might have another one, that's an old one, john.smith@hotmail.com. You use it to give out to potential spammers. Any company, any website asking you for an email address, you just give them that one, which you will never check. Maybe once a month. Or when you have the need. Okay? So, recruiters, they know how to be discreet. Okay? And they will contact you. Okay? They will not blabber it all over the place. They will ask you if it's convenient. Okay? I remember years ago, there's one recruiting agency's website, okay, that had a special button. And the button says, quick, click here if the boss is coming. You click on that, it will go to the weather. So, you should have your LinkedIn, okay, constantly updated. You should have your resume, okay, always polished up, okay, on monster.com or whatever job-seeking website, okay, and it's all free for you to use, okay. Who pays? The recruiter pays, okay. As a candidate, okay, you should use LinkedIn, and you should have connections with other professionals, and recruiters will be sending you connection requests, okay. LinkedIn is just like Facebook, except Facebook is Friday night at the bar. Everybody is on their worst behavior. LinkedIn is Monday morning office. Okay, everybody is on their best professional conduct. And recruiters will be contacting you. Okay, recruiters, they pay for a search account, and there are different levels from $30 a month to $10,000 a year. Okay, different search capabilities, and some of them might use Boolean search. Okay, if you're not a computer nerd, you might know what that is. Okay, it's search using logic and using SQL, sequential query language. If you're not a computer nerd, you don't need to worry about it. And all you need to do is to make sure, okay, your LinkedIn profile is up to date. And recruiters will be contacting you. And then you can evaluate from there. Okay?